We'll go to Bishop Brady letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, Chicago actually made history last night. Actually, they had already made history when they decided that the runoff for their mayoral elections would be between two black women, Lori Lightfoot and Toni Preckwinkle. Well, last night, Lori Lightfoot actually beat Toni Preckwinkle by getting 73% of the vote. And then to top it all off, Shorty is gay. So she's also the first, not only the first African-American woman to be the mayor of Chicago, but also the first gay woman to be mayor of Chicago. So, you know, it's a pretty big deal. She's actually worked under Rahm Emanuel before, which for me personally is a little suspicious. I mean, he hired her like to be on like the police board or something like that. But she was also on the in 2016. More recently, she was on the police accountability task force, and they issued a damn report of the Chicago police involved in that Laquan McDonald shooting, for which you know, cops actually got away with. I wonder how she feels about Jussie Smollett though. Just interesting, but you know, congrats to her. Green Wall and graduation. We'll go to Bishop Brady laying over what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, I'm tired of reporting on this dude, but at the end of the day, especially when it comes down to the shit that he say, but he's the president, so I gotta talk about it because it could have some great implications. I mean, we are in a national emergency, and that's based off of his fucking assumptions and hunches and shit. So, nevertheless, it's turned out that he's not actually going to close the border, or it's not looking like he's going to close the ports of entry along the U.S.-Mexico border, which he had threatened to do last week. But he said yesterday that basically Mexico has, you know, been detaining thousands of migrants, as if it's happened as a result of what he said. But he's, you know, saying that he'll 100% still consider it. Also, even said out loud that he wants to get rid of judges in these immigration cases. So the dude's definitely lost his scruples and doesn't give a fuck at the end of the day. But that's what's happening. And, you know, it already is understood that we could lose billions of dollars off of doing shit like that. Green Wall and graduation. We'll go to Bishop Brady laying over what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Again, I'm tired of reporting on this dude and the shit that he says. But again, he's still the president, and the things that he says sometimes have some very real implications and very real realities and results. So yesterday, while speaking in the Oval Office with the NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, he actually said that Germany and the NATO countries, NATO being the North American Treaty Organization, you know, the alliance between us, Canada, and Mexico, you know, because it's all about the dollar, right? Nevertheless, he's been saying that he's trying to suggest to them that they should raise their military spending to from 2 to 4% of the gross domestic profit, GDP being basically the value of the output of all of the industries in your country. But that's not even the kicker of the story. The kicker is he keeps saying that his pops is German. He's trying to relate to the people in Germany, like, but his pops was born in the Bronx, New York. Is there something to that? Like, conspiracy theorists, let me know, man. Is there something to that, man? Green Wall and graduation. We'll go to Bishop Brady laying over what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, I told y'all yesterday about Trisha Newbold, the White House whistleblower who actually worked for the Personnel Security Office in the White House. You know, the place that's responsible for basically putting a stance on security clearances for people in the White House or whatever. That she was directed to overturn essentially 25 security clearance denials that took place for you know, during the Trump administration for all types of reasons, from blackmail to foreign influence to even just downright criminal conduct, conflicts of interest or whatnot. Nevertheless, her boss's name is Carl Klein, actually, and he's the director of this office, and he's actually been subpoenaed by the House of Oversight and Reform Committee. So they basically gonna grill the fuck out of him and ask, like, what was this shit about? It seemed slick because obviously Trump and his people was trying to get some unqualified motherfuckers in there. Now we getting some light to this, so we'll see how this pans out. Green Wall and grad. The new world order, Bishop Brady laying over what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, Jamal Khashoggi was the slain Washington Post writer who was actually born in Saudi Arabia, but he was exiled from there. And then back in October, while he was at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey, was said to have been basically chopped up and carried out in bags. And you know, his body may have been, like, you know, taken to some, you know, burnt in some furnace or whatever, some real super duper gangster shit by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, allegedly, right? Nevertheless, it's been Washington Post has actually found that and reported Jamal Khashoggi's children have been receiving $1 million homes and tens of thousands of dollars from the Saudi consulate, apparently in an attempt to buy their silence and keep them from testifying about their father. And they're living in fear about this. But a trial is now underway after the Saudi prosecutor actually charged 11 people for that murder. Green War and graduate. We'll go to Bishop Brady laying over the fuck going on for this BFN report. Over in the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, over in the middle of Africa, they are said to have been going through an Ebola outbreak, the second deadliest, the second most prominent one since its first inception a few years back, or the first recognition of it a few years back, even though its original traces go back a while ago. Nevertheless, we're talking about 1,000 cases have been seen recently and have taken 680 lives so far. So it's something very, very serious to consider. Remember when when it first came on the scene, somebody actually made it over to America and infected 1 or 2 people with it. But I don't know. We got to see what happens with this, man. Scary time. Green War and graduation, man. We'll do the Bishop Brady letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Over in Algeria, at the top of Africa, where them Africans look Arab. President Bouteflika, Abdelaziz Bouteflika, actually resigned yesterday from his presidency after mass protests have been taken on week after week after week, basically protesting against the regime that has been in power for so long. We're talking about 5 presidential terms that they were afraid that this guy was going to go for. So originally the protests would seem to be aimed at that, saying they just want a whole overhaul of the political system over there. But they were not feeling the probability of him actually coming back for a 5th term. Dude is old as dirt, hasn't even really been seen since 2013 when he had a stroke. So even in recent times, he was saying he's not going to seek a 5th term. Then it was he's not coming back until he's going to finish out his term at the end of April. And then yesterday he just said he resigned. So we'll see what happens with that power structure. Green War and graduate. We'll do the Bishop Brady laying over the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now over in Venezuela, the economic crisis that's been going on over there. You know how the United States and other European countries and other countries or whatever have been recognizing Juan Guaido as the official president of Venezuela, when in all actuality their current president is Nicolas Maduro. Although Nicolas Maduro has run a regime that seemingly has run the bolivar, their currency, into the ground. Well, just yesterday they actually stripped Juan Guaido of his parliamentary immunity, basically meaning even though he's in government or whatever, dude kind of came out of nowhere. And everybody, including the U.S., was saying that we acknowledge this dude is the president, and then he's been running with it saying he's the president, and has actually went against travel bans to go around Latin American countries trying to stir up support, basically to get Nicolas Maduro the fuck out of there. Well, now they opened him up to where he could be arrested and tried. Let's see what happens. Green War and graduate. We'll go to Bishop Brady laying over the fuck going on for this BFN report. Yeah, my brain's looking a little hit, but you know what I'm saying? But they getting me through the day. Fuck it. I just had to keep it trucking. Nevertheless, over in Pittsburgh, the city council actually approved the list of new measures that actually will ban certain types of semi-autos. Now, this is all in light. These bills were actually introduced when the mass shooter had actually went to that the Tree of Life synagogue, a Jewish synagogue, and shot and killed 11 people past October. Now, with that being said, these bills also allow for police to possibly confiscate weapons from people who may pose a risk to themselves or to the public. So, what kind of discernment tactics they're going to use for this, I think, has the gun rights activists up in arms, that are so-called gun rights activists that are saying they're going to legally challenge this. But that's what's happening. Green Wall and graduation. You know the shit. We'll do the Bishop Brady laying out what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Over in Cali, the Attorney General for the state of Cali, Xavier Becerra, is actually appealing and overturning of a state ban that was against high-capacity magazines. Now, what's considered a high-capacity magazine? Any mag that can hold more than 10 bullets is considered a high-capacity magazine. For all my shooters and hitters out there, whatever, that's not a lot, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, that is the ban that they was going on. When that ban was actually overturned, it started a shipment of high-capacity magazines into the state, and so now Becerra is actually trying to appeal that. Doesn't seem like it's going to stop the shipments. Doesn't seem like it's going to stop the money flow. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. This is all in an attempt to essentially like battle mass shootings, because that's really what all of this shit comes down to. But really, with this mass shooting shit, we need to start investigating the government and these MK Ultra programs and shit like that, because a lot of this shit don't make sense. Green War and graduation, man. The New World Order, Bishop Brady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, just some more racism for you that shows you how it's embedded in this country. It's been reported, actually by the Daily Beast, specifically that the Department of Homeland Security disbanded its domestic terrorism unit last year, and they put those people in other departments. Now, how this gets disbanded, basically with them citing that domestic terrorism is at has been greatly reduced or whatever. But we know that white supremacy and white supremacist terrorism is on the rise. So how can you disband the unit knowing that that's taking place? But yet the fucking Federal Bureau of Investigation wants to have that black identity extremist shit on out there, basically, so they could come and lock motherfuckers up, possibly even like myself that seem a little too pro-black and a little too upset about shit that's just like this. Give me a fucking break, man. Everybody stay woke. Green War and graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Brady, letting you know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, over at the University of Kentucky, there's been some serious activism going on over there the past couple of weeks. Last week, they actually started a campaign and protesting and occupying buildings and doing hunger strikes and all of that, all designed to on one end actually protect students that are food insecure and struggling financially. So the university conceded to the students, hundreds of them protesting or whatever, and actually created a basic needs center and established a basic needs fund, all to address that exact issue. Also, the Black Students Advisory Council was protesting against them having this racist mural up that showed Native Americans and black people attacking this white woman. So that mural got covered up. So when activism goes right, man, stay woke. Green War and graduation.